We leave early in the morning from Cape Town for the first traverse through the Cederberg. This wilderness area can best be described as a hiker's paradise. It's like walking through nature's own art gallery, past bizarrely shaped rock formations, craggy peaks, secret valleys, crystal clear streams, and incredibly beautiful flowers. And right from the start, it becomes clear that you are invited to view this walk as more than just a trail.
Perfect.
You can take a new one.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Group one.
So maybe it's worth, as you step over between this rock and the pole, to just have a think about what it is that brought you to walk along the rim. I'm sure all of you have come with your own reasons. So this is kind of just a line of stepping over from this world into whatever our world will look like in the next week, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. So it's always nice to have an intention and a marking of a change in something.
So here I am, the beginning of the Rim of Africa, 32 days ahead. The adventure begins. Let's go. The first day is a short walk up the Pakhuis Pass. Ahead of us are the peaks Faith, Hope and Charity, named by the famous Afrikaans poet C. Louis Leipold. If you see one of these, please don't pick them up. They will empty their bowel contents on you, and in our dry areas this puts them under immense stress. This is a brand new Auto Elements one-man tent, which promptly gets baptized. Our campsite at the top of the Pakhuis Pass. Early morning and day 2, the sun's just rising up in the east,
I could hear you sleep well.
and the camp is waking up. Pei and Lane are doing some Tai Chi as an early morning warm-up. In 2017, only 5 of the 9 traverses were run due to logistical difficulties, but the walk down to Montague was still a journey of around 350 kilometers. There were 4 of us wanting to do the whole trail, and we called ourselves the Awesome Foursome, a motley crew from around the world. Here's Ray, an irrepressible Australian scientist.
Ray, where are we going? Where are we going in Africa? We're going rimming in Africa.
But Ray had a problem. A badly set fractured ankle resulted in a marked limp. Could he complete the journey despite this? This is Pei, an intrepid adventurer from Taiwan, carrying a pack that was close to half her body weight. Would she be able to eat enough calories to maintain her weight and not start burning up the muscle she would need to complete the journey? This is Siran, an unmarried master's graduate from Cape Town. The night's outside under this little barbworm.
Gave me good shelter.
Yes, brilliant.
And comfort when I had nobody else inside to give me any.
That sounds really sad.
So sad.
This stick has been carried on every rim of Africa trail.
So then after some of us are finished walking, we'll pass it on to the next and it'll keep going all the way to the end of stage 5. And what we like to do, we carry the stick, which is cedar wood from Cederberg, which is a very, as you know, some of you know, endangered species. And this was from an old broken branch of a tree that had been mostly burnt, actually, except this branch. So I'm going to put it in the middle and pass around these red strings. And there's 1 or 2 if you want. So the idea is to tie onto the stick your string with what you are coming here to walk. What made you come and walk here?
Along the way, we had a lot of fun.
Did you always see a Chinese spy?
Bandit. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, we're just busy. A little bit of mist and rain, so we're just gearing up and putting on our pack covers. Yeah. And then we ran into a typical Cape storm. You guys are so focused. He's rolling and he's still in good spirits. And Ray's in even better spirits. Despite the rain. And face all dry. Yeah. This morning on day 3 and Mbulelo is like me, he's having a lie-in. Refuses to get out of bed. After the rain of the day before, a good chance to dry our clothes out. This place looks like a teenager's bedroom. Morning, Faye. One of the great Rim traditions is the poem read before the start of each day's walk.
I don't know what weight and depth and solidity the earth, the soil, the rocks, the mountains will impart on you. I only know that they will. I don't know what flow and movement and shape the waters oozing from the earth, bubbling in the streams, tumbling from waterfalls, will shape for you. I only know that they will. I don't know what songs of airy flight, the wind sometimes howling, sometimes whispering gently, will inspire in you. I only know that they will. I don't know what higher thoughts and frequencies the visions of the yellow sun and its heat will burn into you, and by its absence in the night let smolder in your darkness. I only know that it will.
The poem is followed by a silent walk, a time to ponder what you have heard. Working our way up Skerpionspoort. Near the top of Skerpionspoort, I came across a trunk of a long dead cedar tree planted in the middle of the stream, and the following poem came to me. Steadfast, clinging, strong, yet gnarled, twisted, dry, deeply rooted in the crevices, yet reaching to the azure sky. The cool crisp air in my branches, and a bubbling brook at my feet. Here I stand as a sentinel, knowing that one day we would meet. Life I once held, proud I was, yet now I am barren. Your teacher am I, if you would but listen.
Beautiful peace and quiet in the Cederbergs. Magic.
coming up to the overnight camp at Funkstasie. This is Ray putting up his tent, which is a Z-Pax light.
I'd love a hot chunk of that.
Cool. I've already cut one, so there's plenty.
That looks far more dignified. Otherwise your dignity leaks out from the back.
His head is upset with you.
That's well said. Morning.
Morning, Ray. This is toilet time, Rim of Africa style. A decent trowel to dig a nice deep hole, some toilet paper, and what we call our kaksaki. All the toilet paper comes out with us. We leave nothing but the natural stuff behind. There are many ways to dry a tent, including learning how to fly. Sorry again. Again. Yeah. Now for real.
Outeniqua.
Show some appreciation there, Andre, in your face. This area had only opened a week before, after a huge fire the year before. A Boy Scout had tried to burn his toilet paper with devastating consequences. But even as fire destroys, it creates space for new growth.
Here, give me the fly sheet. You're having the tent for 4 days. Thank you very much.
We had lunch at the base of Engelsmanskloof, translated as Englishman's Ravine, named because an English soldier was trapped here by Boer forces during the Anglo-Boer War. He apparently fought bravely, but was killed. Beautiful.
Is it dangerous?
Very dangerous. Around 200 years ago, the Cederberg was covered with huge forests of cedar trees. This road and hut were built to help with the transport of the harvested trees.
The campsite of the trip.
Yes.
It's insanely beautiful.
Tonight I'll be sleeping in the penthouse suite. Got its own built-in fireplace, and it's even got a spare bedroom. It's got its own front stoop. It's got a view to die for. There's Tafelberg with its spout in the background, and possibly an emergency toilet. And I've got a staircase up here that goes through to the roof. It's early morning sunrise on day 5.
Thanks for popping in, Andy.
We'll see you later. These are the caves at Cederberg. There's one right at the bottom, and I slept in the one right on top. The Bushmen were the first inhabitants of the Cederberg, and many of the caves there are adorned with their rock paintings, some of them 8,000 years old.
Red flames created grass with the color of grief and yellow flowers. The satisfied day does not come first. No, best are days of hunger and of thirst. Yes, there are goals and meaning on your way, but it's the path itself that longest in you stay. The best meal is the bread you share with friends, around the fire telling stories with no ends. In places where you're only sleeping once, the sleep is safe and dreams are full of song and dance. Break up, the sun's about to rise. No limits has the great adventure of your life.
We're just doing a little road section to cross the valley. We're struggling to make our way through one of the marshy areas. This is an old stone leopard trap from a time when leopards were still plentiful and not an endangered species. This hut was originally a stable for the donkeys that were used to haul cedar trunks off the mountain. This is my little nook for the night.
Wow, Melanie. Wil jy nie by my kom slaap nie?
Sometimes, if you move carefully through the mountains, breathing like the ones in the old stories, you could cross a shimmering bed of leaves without a sound. You come to a place whose only task is to trouble you with tiny but frightening requests, conceived out of nowhere, but in this place beginning to lead everywhere. Requests to stop what you're doing right now and stop what you're becoming while you do it. Questions that can make or unmake a life. Questions that have patiently waited for you. Questions that have no right to go away.
It's just about impossible to capture the beauty of this contour path on camera, as it winds like a snake along the slopes ahead. To the left you have peaks and cliffs, and on the right you have a steep drop-off, and all along the way you have these views into what appears to be infinity.
The spectacular Cederbergs.
It's with a sense of sadness that we reach the end of the Cederberg wilderness area. Pine trees, farmland and a dam ahead.
I got a feeling this is going to go horribly wrong.
Yeah, it's gonna go well, it's gonna go great.
Depends whose perspective you're looking from. As we're out of the wilderness area and there's a lot of old pine wood lying around, we light a fire. There's something primal that awakens in us when people bond around a fire.
Maybe take your foot away. Keep your foot till it cooks there. It's early morning on day 7. My towel, which was a bit wet overnight, appears to have frozen up.
We have a thought, and then we have a choice. And it's even if we decide not to choose to do something, and then an action follows, and an action can lead to a habit can lead to character, and the character ultimately determines your destiny, because that's who you are and what you are.
It's not a haiku, these are just, it's something that sprung into my head. It's more of a little ditty, and it's with apologies to Margareta, who joined late, and it's to the people of Traverse 1. So it's to Andy with his irrepressible smile and his constant photography, to Pei from Taiwan, our adventurer with a backpack twice the size and twice as heavy as she, to Volker and Isabel, 2 Germans with a sense of humor. Life is so full of surprises. To Siran and Melanie from laid-back Cape Town, they were not the early risers. To Lena, who blesses the morning sun. To Roland with his stories and all his interesting information. To Ray, what do we say about Ray? Loves a chat, loves a joke, and he's quite the trailblazer from the Aussie nation. To Jess, our serene and lovely guide, and to Mbu, her faithful sidekick, we thank you for leading us through the beautiful Cederberg with your trusty Rim of Africa stick. That leaves this Afrikaner boy with little more to say, except that he has thoroughly enjoyed this journey and the people on it every single step of the way.